Thank you for tuning into SegaShiro.com. I'm DJ FobFresh, and today we are looking at OutRun. Released in 1986, designed by Yu Suzuki and Sega AM-2, OutRun was a huge arcade hit. It was a pioneer in graphics and music. It allowed players to, for the first time, choose both their soundtrack and route. There's a really strong feeling of relaxation and luxury in this game, and it's more about Sunday driving, fast Sunday driving, than it is about racing per se. But you really don't need me to tell you that, because this game has been around for decades and is a classic title. Recently, Xbox 360 Arcade just released a high-definition update of the sequel to this title, and, it just shows that a simple, elegant game design can continue getting gamers interested years and years after the initial launch. So let's take a moment to talk about the graphics. Obviously, it looks a little dated today, but if there's one thing this game nailed, it was a sensation of speed. Now, Sega achieved this 3D effect by using sprite scaling techniques called super scaling. Super scaling technology allowed many sprites to be scaled and displayed on the screen at a very fast frame rate, and that's what really gives the sensation of 3D movement and speed. Now, of course, as everyone who plays the Sega Saturn knows, that was a sprite crunching beast, and it handles this title extremely well. Now, the Sega Saturn version of OutRun was released in 1996, a full decade after the initial arcade release. It was brought out by Sega AM-2 under the Sega Ages label. Now, the Sega Ages label was built to bring arcade faithful translations to the Sega Saturn. Other titles include Space Harrier, Afterburner 2, and Fantasy Zone. If you're looking to add this game into your collection, there's a few things you should know. One, the Japanese version of this game is almost entirely in English, save for the manual and the box art. The game is a little bare bones. This is a straight arcade translation. Don't expect more from this. You might get a few soundtrack options, and that's about it. Personally, I like having a standalone copy of this game. However, if you're looking for the 1996 Working Designs published title called Sega Ages Volume 1, which was released in the US, it compiles OutRun, Space Harrier, and Afterburner 2. You're going to have a tougher time finding that game. Also, in order to fit all those games onto one disc, Working Designs had to cut out the original arcade soundtracks. So the Japanese edition of the game also lets you use the 3D analog stick that was packed in with Knights, and you can also use the Sega Saturn steering controller if you're so inclined or have that around. So what's left to say about OutRun? This is a classic popcorn style of game. It's the type of game that gave Sega the hardcore audience that it still has to this day. If you're looking to add it to your collection, really you can do no wrong. It's a classic franchise, it's a classic title. If you're a new gamer, check out the Xbox Live Arcade HD version of the game. It really captures the same spirit and the feeling. Or check out the Xbox version if you're so inclined. I'm DJ FobFresh, and I'm signing off from Sega Shiro. I'll be back soon with more Sega Saturn reviews, so keep on gaming.